let's take a look at everything that was reported yesterday. What about midday or so, Jack? Jack sent me the links. Like, what's going on here? I'm just like, you know what? It's more of this media witch hunt, trying to get Michigan football, trying to get Jim Harbaugh. But Sherrone Moore seemed to be the target, now that he's the head coach, maybe he's the new target, of the NCAA's notice of allegations, several level 1 and repeat offender, things like lack of institutional control that we are going to talk about on today's show. I'm going to give you my take on what it all means and maybe what you can expect going forward and what I think the outcome of this latest NCAA inquiry into Michigan, Connor Stalions, and the whole 2023 drama. Later on the show, though, I put this photo up not to make light of it by any means, but with what's been going on for the past really 9 years, Jim Harbaugh, Donald Trump, they both, Trump declared for presidency in 2015, Harbaugh declared to be the king of college football in 2015, coming to Michigan. Kind of their paths have been very similar over the years. What did they do when they couldn't take down Trump? You saw what happened about 3 weeks ago or so. I fear for Jim Harbaugh's life. That's towards the end of today's show. Did want to ask you guys, we beat the last. Every show we come with a goal, right? We try and have a metric that we're trying to hit with you guys, the audience. Last week, it was 50 subscribers. We'll talk about that in a little bit and tell you how we shook out there. This month, I want to beat last August like total. So all the videos we did, just videos alone, nothing live, nothing YouTube shorts, just these on-demand videos, 6,268 likes last month. It's August, 5th? So we got a little bit of a late start here. Can we get 6,268 likes this month? It all starts with you clicking that like button on this video. It costs you nothing, helps a ton, puts the numbers up and gets this video in the feeds on YouTube of more Michigan football fans. Let's jump into this story. Sherrone Moore, Jim Harbaugh. I've got a lot to talk about on both guys and what I think. So before I do, though, just want to program alert. If you didn't see today, Michigan was number 8 in the coaches poll. Last year they were number 2. 2 years ago they were number 6. What do all those years have in common, Jack? They beat Ohio State in all of them, so expect nothing but that here in 2024. Buckeyes are ranked number 2. Texas was number 4 group. Penn State I saw up there was number 9, right? So Michigan was the 3rd highest ranked team in the Big Ten. Where did Ole Miss come in that, right? I think Ole Miss my sleeper. 4 or 5? Okay. I think Ole Miss is a sleeper Final Four national championship level team this year. Michigan, number 8 in the coaches poll. The AP poll comes out next Monday. Sherrone Moore could face a show cause penalty, which is a bad thing, right? That's like the death penalty and a suspension, right? So he could stay as Michigan's head coach with a show cause penalty, but most schools, you get a show cause penalty, you're basically fired instantly. Could also get a suspension or nothing over allegations of deleted text. They deleted a text thread of 53 texts with Connor Stalions the same exact day media reports surfaced, naming Stalions for the first time in October of 2023. Now, because he had a one-game suspension last year, going back to Burgergate and the COVID-related recruiting violations, he would now be considered a repeat offender because this took place after his one-game suspension to start the 2023 season. So that is what we know. That's what's being said out there on Sherrone Moore. We'll take a deeper dive. Who else is being named? Who are the 7 violators in this NCAA investigation and what I think on it. But you guys have probably seen the news, right? We're not breaking news to you, right, by any means. We're just giving our opinion. So where do you stand? Where are we at about 30 hours after this article from ESPN was published? Give me your NCAA allegations heat check. How concerned are you? Scale of 1 to 10. 1, not concerned at all. 10, very concerned, hair on fire. I don't know, Jack, let me hear yours. On the spot, I'm going 6.5. I'm actually going 6.5, but I want to hear what you think.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot that needs to be revealed.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things that we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But concerning nonetheless. If these things turn out to be true, we have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say 7.5.
7.5 from Jack. All right, no rookie numbers here. We have 6.5 and 7.5. Average quick math, 7.0 from Jack and I. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Hey, no rookie. You can't just say 6. Right? You got to give a decimal point. It makes it more important. Makes it think like you put a little more thought into your ranking. Adam Schefter, right? He put out, he was on some show today, but here's what he said directly about Sherrone Moore. He said, I spoke to him about 20 minutes ago. All good as a Michigan man, someone who believes in Coach Moore. I'm not concerned. I'm not. Now, I don't know what Pete, that's Pete Thamel, one of the biggest scumbags in all of media, knows, but I spoke to the man himself, talking about Sherrone for a while, and I feel pretty good about what he said, and we'll see what happens here. So, all right, cool. Adam Schefter is doing it. That's, I think, one of the great things about Michigan is so many guys in the greater media landscape are Michigan fans, and so, they kind of do the dirty work for guys like Sherrone Moore, getting the word out that he's fine, he's not doing anything. Sherrone doesn't have to come out and put out a statement himself. But let's think back to January here for a second, right? Jim Harbaugh, national title, does the parade, do the ceremony at Chrysler, and then 3, 4, 5, 6 days, 7 goes by, etc. A week later, then Harbaugh takes the Chargers job after he talked to the Chargers, he talked to the Falcons, etc., etc. And not even 3 or 4 days went by. They named on a Saturday Sherrone Moore the new head coach. Didn't interview anybody else. Didn't even look at any other candidates. They said, we're not going to go waste people's time if Sherrone's our guy. If Sherrone is your guy, right? Warde Manuel, what this report said, was a part of Sherrone deleting the text messages, then admitted it to him, then turning in his phone. They did some imaging, like kind of plugged it in. Boop, 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 boop. What was deleted? All right, we've got the text. Warde Manuel knows when those texts. He clearly asked Sherrone, these are what's said in the text. What was said? Is anything else? No. I can't imagine a scenario that this would be new information to Warde Manuel, what these texts were, or that Sherrone deleted texts and would be seen as a repeat offender in the notice of allegations. And there's no way that Michigan would assign Sherrone Moore to a 5-year, $27.5 million with clauses go well above 30 in there, and pay him that out if, in fact, they're going to get a show cause penalty, multiple game suspensions. If you get show cause, he's going to get fired before he even coaches his first game. Now, Michigan has 60 days to reply to this, so it's not going to happen before his first game, of course, but before coaches his first season, potentially, if the NCAA moves fast, we shall see. But that is the one thing for me that makes me pause and not stress out. A lot of people stressing out there. A lot of rival fan bases taking victory laps all in and around what's going on with Michigan. The hammer's coming down. The hammer's coming around. But I don't necessarily think that it is one to be wildly concerned about. But the thing that you want to, the word that was thrown in there, which did concern me a little bit, is that word show cause, right? If you're not familiar with it, I actually got the definition here for you. I want to read it. Show cause penalty is the stiffest punishment a coach can receive for violating NCAA rules, created for the purpose of preventing coaches penalized by the NCAA from jumping to another school to escape sanctions. A show cause penalty attaches NCAA penalties to a coach even at a new school. So let's just say Sherrone Moore was given a 1-year postseason suspension. He gets fired from Michigan. He goes to the head coach at Toledo. Boom! Toledo is suspended from participating in bowl games for a year for hiring Sherrone Moore. Now, the school that hires him next can what's the word I'm looking for? Appeal it to the NCAA, try and get an overturn, etc. But almost every single time you see this, I want to kind of read the last 5 coaches to get show cause penalties. There's a couple reclamation projects in here, but Auburn coach Bruce Pearl, right? He was out of the game forever after Tennessee, right? He had to sit out 4 or 5 seasons and then got, a job after a while. Wake Forest coach Steve Forbes, never even heard of him. Okay, cool. How about Houston coach Calvin Sampson? He, just like Pearl, was out of the game for like 4 or 5 seasons and then had to go down to Houston for being the head coach of Oklahoma and Indiana. And, finally made a comeback. Turned out to be one of the best coaches in all of college football. Kent State's coach, Rob Senderoff, I don't even know who that is. And then Eastern Tennessee State's Jason Shea. So as you see, very rare, the 2 guys we've all heard of in college basketball, they had to sit out for a while, really stunted their career. And if it wasn't for them getting lucky and someone taking a chance on them, and them having, by the way, a ton of success, which Sherrone Moore doesn't yet have, he's never been a head coach before they were able to finally get their careers turned back around. But I do think, keep in mind and just watch out for this, is what I think the most likely scenario of all this thing is Michigan wants to not have this hangover the entire season once more, not have a hangover recruiting and all that different stuff. I bet they go to the NCAA in the next 25 days or so, maybe longer, maybe it goes to the Big Ten season, but I would guess that maybe Sherrone Moore takes a self-imposed 1-game suspension to start the year like he did last year, and maybe that goes all the way for at least him, but we will see how bad the NCAA wants to penalize the Michigan football program. Asked you guys for 50 subscribers on last week's video. Boom! We did it. 72 new subscribers, so thank you. I know a lot of you guys shared the video, shared the link to the channel, youtube.com/MichiganTV. Also, after taking a 3+ month break, big numbers came back, 15,750 views on last weeks, or I guess it was almost 2 weeks at this point, 2 Fridays ago, about 10 days ago video, which is, by the way, that's 2.5 times Sam Webb's live show yesterday on YouTube on the 24/7 Sports YouTube channel, breaking down the allegations about Sherrone Moore at the NCAA. So as you guys see, we are still the kings of Michigan football on YouTube. Took the clips of that video. Shout out Jack. Shout out Cuz Aiden. 35,000 views on YouTube on the shorts that we took in the little takes from last week's video. So a triumphant return. All thanks to you guys, the Michigan Football Report audience. Make sure you guys subscribe, youtube.com/Michigan TV. It's in the description. It's in the comments of every single video we do, so share it with your friends or hit that subscribe button right below today's video. Some other people got level 1 allegations related to Connor Stalions. Let's take a look at them here. Jim Harbaugh will be a repeat offender himself. I don't think he's coming back to college football, but you never know. If things don't shake out with the Chargers, maybe he would. Sherrone Moore, Chris Partridge. Everybody in this list except for Denard Robinson has kind of leveled up in the world. Right? Jim Harbaugh, NFL head coach. Sherrone Moore, Michigan head coach. Chris Partridge, now linebackers coach with the Seattle Seahawks. Denard Robinson gets a DUI, or maybe he'd still have his job. Connor Stalions got himself a Netflix special, which comes out 3 weeks from tomorrow, actually, August 27th. I think that's when the truth is going to come out on this entire story. But the NCAA's formal accusations towards Michigan, one thing I did want to add on top, including those 5 guys and 2 more we'll talk about for other violations, the program has been accused of a pattern of noncompliance within the football program and institutional efforts to hinder or thwart the NCAA's investigation per that ESPN report. That, lack of institutional control, that's what can get you in a lot of trouble. We'll talk more about it in a second. But first, a quick word. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time. I love using the Game Time app, and most recently was able to snag last-minute tickets to the Major League Home Run Derby and the MLB All-Star Game. Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch or the first snap. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets to games and events. Let's take a look at the Michigan football schedule, all right? We got a big-time season, 8 home games. You got Fresno State. Then you got the big game against Texas, which I will be at thanks to Game Time. Fresno State, Michigan, $124 in. Now, that Texas game, $551 is the all-in price. You can't get it any cheaper than you can with Game Time. So if you're going to a Michigan football game this year, you got to use the Game Time app. Last-minute deals is up to 60% by buying last-minute sports, concerts, comedy, theater tickets. I love the all-in pricing, right? You go in other apps, you get to the last screen, all of a sudden, boom, they add 30, 40% on top of the price. Not with Game Time. You toggle on that feature to show the total upfront cost with no surprise fees at checkouts, and seat views. You get a panoramic view of your seat in the app before you buy. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem with code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS, for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. A few other notes here on former Wolverine coaches and staff. So Steve Clinkscale, I think did a wonderful job with the defensive backs the last couple of years, and was the co-defensive coordinator last year. Is now the Chargers defensive backs coach. He was accused of a few things. Right, we can only fit one in there. This is kind of wild. Accused of helping a recruit get verified on Instagram. I mean, can you imagine that's actually in the NCAA bylaws? Okay. Also accused, and this is the one that's just like, use your brain, man, writing a $100 check from his own checking account to a charity that the one recruit was like raising money for or something like that. It's like, come on, bro. So, we'll see if he fights. If he wants to come back in college football, maybe he will, but we'll see how that shakes out. Denard Robinson facing a DUI charge right now. Also was accused of paying for recruits' meals, providing Michigan gear, I'm guessing T-shirts, maybe shoes, hats, etc., to recruits on campus. And then Jesse Minter, how about this one? You can't text or contact a recruit before September 1st of the junior year. You got to go through their coach and et cetera, et cetera. Texting a sophomore recruit during the 2022 and the 2023 season. So those guys aren't really in college football. They're really the only one here that's facing any potential penalty because the only one out of these 7 they're still coaching or working college football is head coach Sherrone Moore. Guys, we are on social media. If you want a Michigan football content explosion all over you, right, in your face, follow us on social media. I'm on Twitter at AKX at James Yoder. The show has a Instagram and TikTok account doing clips from this show, highlights of past games and highlights of games during the season at Michigan Football Report. And then we can't get Facebook. They will not let us change the URL, so we're stuck with this one. If we want to keep our little verified, maybe Steve Klinkscale got us the verified tab on Facebook, or check mark. But Facebook.com/Harbaugh. Go Blue. Links to those are down in the comments and descriptions. Follow us across all social media. Now let's talk about Jim Harbaugh for a second. He released a statement this afternoon basically denying any involvement and kind of sticking to the story that he did at the College Football National Championship game week and after the game that he did nothing wrong. Here's Harbaugh this afternoon. He says, "Never lie, never cheat, never steal. I was raised with that lesson. I've raised my family on that lesson. I preach that lesson to my teams I've coached, yada, yada, yada. If you stumble, you apologize and you make it right. But today, I do not apologize. I do not participate. I did not participate, was unaware nor complicit in these allegations." So I think Harbaugh left a word out because it actually is his official statement. So I think he meant for me or for us, it's back to work and attacking with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind. So my prediction here is, outside the Harbaugh statement, is that Sherrone Moore is going to get a 1 to 2 game suspension, whether it's this season, next season, and Michigan will have minimal recruiting penalties. It might be like, okay, Sherrone Moore can't do in-home visits for a year or something like that. But I don't think there's going to be any vacating of past games, nor do I think there will be any future postseason bans. What more can they do to Jim Harbaugh? What more can they do to him? It's clear that this entire thing has been a witch hunt, right? We're talking about cheeseburgers. We're talking about grainy iPhone videos that clearly, what are you going to do with that? Any idiot out there could take a video of the signs on the side of the stage. Side of the sidelines, Jim Harbaugh himself, what more can they do to him? I'm talking about the media. I'm talking the Ohio State, Penn State, Notre Dame Illuminati, and I am talking to you about the NCAA, the deep state, right? The NCAA deep state that wants to take him down because of things like this. Oh, Jim Harbaugh was advocated for years for paying players, for having guys being able to transfer, to sharing the revenue. Wonder why they want to take him down. He's shaking up the system, right? And always has, but now he's off to the NFL. Before we finish on that one, I do want to take a quick pause and let you guys know, big-time announcement here, big-time announcement, new nickname alert, right? We've had several nicknames over the course of the show. We've had the MFers, right? Michigan Football Report, you're an MFer. We've had a few other ones, but MFers is gone for now, and we have a new nickname. They call people at the Capitol, right? January 6th, whatever political side you're on, that's fine. But people who were inside the Capitol on January 6th, they call them J6ers, right? J6 rioters, J6 this, that. Well, Michigan won the national championship 3 years later on January 8th. So you know what we are, Jack? We are J8ers. So the fans of this show, Michigan football fans in general, we're calling J8ers right now. We are January 8ers, and we've even got our own hand signal. If you remember Seinfeld and the Van Buren boys, right? Remember George has a little thing, or Kramer has a little thing in his hand. He goes, whoa, all right. Throw up the 8 for the Van Buren boys. We are January 8ers, and that is our sign. So if January 8th, the day Michigan won the national title this year, still the national champions, and going back-to-back, is one of the greatest days of your life, like it is mine. Number 1, Jack, where's that for you, Jack? Top 2? Top 5? Top 5. One of the greatest days of your life. Give me a J8 in the comments. I want to see how many of you roll with a new nickname and are a J8er like Jack and I are going for. I'm generally concerned about Jim Harbaugh's well-being. They are out to get him. I said they, the media, the NCAA deep state, the money people in and around the Illuminati of college football. And I don't want to take this lightly, right? Because the man that we're going to talk about here and compare Harbaugh to in a few minutes, half you're going to like him, half you're going to hate his guts. That's fine. But the comparisons are very apt. They both came into kind of the role that they're targets of in 2015. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape. Jim Harbaugh, Donald Trump. Is Jim Harbaugh the Trump of college football? They're trying to take him out because he's messing with their money. He's messing with the natural order of things. Let's take a look at the comparison. On the job, 2 impeachments. Oh, Jack, we forgot to put the 2 impeachments there. 2 impeachments for Trump. 2 suspensions for Harbaugh in 2023. Never forget, right? They say, never forget January 6th. You know what I never forget? I never forget JT was short, okay? So we got the same thing right there. Fake news, right? Russia. They do this whole Russia hoax for 4 years. It was exonerated. Burgergate. That was clearly a hoax, fake news perpetrated by the media. How about this? This inner circle. Steve Bannon in jail as of July 1st. Steve Bannon in jail for what? Who? Nobody knows. Matt Weiss, house raided by the FBI, Michigan's offensive coordinator. For what? Still, 18 months later, nobody knows, okay? And then media nemesis, Jack's favorite, MSNBC, CNN, and then ESPN, right? They're out to get him because he's messing with their money, and they need a boogeyman to make sure ratings stay high. Nick Saban's gone. Jim Harbaugh's gone. No one's watching college football anymore, so they got to keep Harbaugh in the headlines to keep the ratings up, okay? And outside of all that stuff, okay, outside of all that, the 2015 comparison, it's wild, all right? All the things that have happened, you look at all the Trump things, all the Harbaugh things. After all that with Trump, right? They got the 88 felony count. They got the 34 convictions. None of that stopped him. None of that stopped Jim Harbaugh. Won the national fucking championship, got an NFL job, coaching job, making $16 million a year. What happened to Trump? They tried to take him out. This is a witch hunt. This is possibly a hoax. We'll see what happens here. And I'm fearful for Jim Harbaugh's life. There's going to be some loon out there that – this kid in Pennsylvania, 20 years old, always heard for 10 years is Trump's bad, Trump's Hitler, right? Wild guy. Imagine if you watched ESPN, you would think Jim Harbaugh is the worst cheater, worst guy in the history of the world. I think he's a great guy. Wrote me a Christmas card a couple years ago. I don't know if you guys know that, but he did. Let the man live his life. He's gone. He's on to the NFL. Michigan won the national title. You're not going to steal that from my brain, NCAA. You're going to steal that from my memories, ESPN, you sons of bitches. He needs to be protected. This is what I'm calling for here. Secret Service protection. You see there Jim Harbaugh, right, turning his head, putting his fist up, saying hello to the people, surrounded by Secret Service agents. It's time for some redemption from the Secret Service. They botched the thing with Trump a couple weeks ago. They let it happen. There's going to be some crazed Ohio State fan. Goldman, we got a background check on you? Did you submit your background check? We got all kinds of people who out there they're just thirsting for blood for Jim Harbaugh, okay? Is someone going to do something stupid because they've been poisoned by ESPN and the deep state memory? I think Biden needs to give Jim Harbaugh Secret Service protection. And there's a lot of people, right? Hunter Biden, Ashley Biden, Chelsea Clinton. There's all kinds of people that have Secret Service protection who are less of a target and certainly less high profile than Jim Harbaugh. So some redemption for the Secret Service. Protect Jim Harbaugh at all costs because I think the deep state, ESPN, NCAA Illuminati is out to get him, and there's only one thing left. Pray for Jim Harbaugh because I'm fearful for his life. Jim Harbaugh was on Pardon My Take, the popular Barstool Sports podcast. Says the 2015 Michigan State trouble the snap, one of the worst days of my life, actually, probably top 5, was something that haunts him to this day. Says he thinks about it all the time and is not fully over it. Talk more about Harbaugh. I want to ask you guys a question. Jim Harbaugh was the coach or was the quarterback for a lot of people, probably in their 50s, when they became fans of Michigan. Harbaugh was the quarterback. For me, it was Elvis Gerback, early 90s, a wee boy, a wee tyke. Who was the Michigan quarterback the season you became a Michigan football fan? Let me know down in the comments. The first year you can remember being a Michigan football fan, who was the starting quarterback? I want to know more about you guys, the J-Aters of the Michigan Football Report. More reflections from his time at Michigan on Pardon My Take. He recorded this interview with them. They said at the beginning of the show, just hours after the ESPN report dropped on Sunday. And they said they were too much of pussies to ask him about it because, their friends and them didn't want to, have bad vibes out there. And I get that, right? They're not a hard-hitting journalistic integrity podcast. So probably best if they didn't do it. But I thought it was a pretty decent interview. But they didn't talk a ton about Michigan, right? They talked more about chickens and things like that and nervous birds than they did about his actual time at Michigan football. But going back to the Michigan State 2015 trouble with the snap game, this is Harbaugh's quote on that. One of the top 5 worst things that has ever happened to me in my life. It led to eliminating the college punt. He elaborated on this, the spread punt. Michigan apparently never did that. I don't know if I even realized it. The widespread punt that may have cost him that game. He goes, I played that scenario out quite a bit, talking about just thinking about that game and what happened to end that game in 2015. That and the JT was short game. Those are the two. Two worst of the last 15 years. Prior to that, clearly App State in 2007. So Harbaugh is on there. Go listen to that one if you want. Not a ton about Michigan really at all in that one. He says his Mount Rushmore of coaches: John Harbaugh, Bo Schembechler, some guy I'd never even heard of, and who was the other one? And Jack Harbaugh, John Harbaugh, Bo Schembechler, and some rando guy that I don't think was ever a real head coach, like some lower-level coach on there. So that's on the part of my take. About 52 minutes into the episode, if you guys want to skip ahead and listen to Harbaugh on PMT. One more request before we wrap today's show. Like challenge. Hit that like button. Let's beat the records. Let's have a better year in 2024 than we did in 2023. We need 6,269 nice likes on all of our videos this month. It starts with you on this video. It has been the Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports. Till next time, go Blue.